Hi, everybody. It's Tara Greene here. I'm Agent 129 in Toronto, Canada. Sorry, that was a little bit of a rougher entry than was supposed to happen, but that's okay. Anyway, it's the first time I'm here using StreamYard, and if it's your first time here, I want to welcome you on behalf of the Cosmic Intelligence Agency for January's big preview. I'm going to talk about January, the energies going on with the planets in January, and also give you a bit of an overview. So if you've never been here before, the way this works is I talk about the different aspects, the major planetary aspects during January, just to give you a general overview. And then I use the tarot, and I will use my intuition, and it will go through each sign one by one, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces. So each person will get a card to guide you through 2022. Okay, so, say hi. I can see comments coming up here. Let's see. Somebody please say hi. So I know it's there. I know you're there. I see the numbers, but yeah, it'd be really great to chat with you. Okay, are you there? Okay. Hi, Gemini. Hi, Claudette. Okay. Hi, Patricia from California. Hi, Anu. Okay. Hey, okay, so I want to welcome you. I'm going to take a minute or so before we get started here. Hi from Oklahoma. Okay, that's great. Okay, so as you know, the Cosmic Intelligence Agency is centered in Australia. There's somebody from South Australia. I'm up in here in Toronto, Canada. Okay, all right. Byron Bay, very nice. Another Gemini. Two Geminis here. Okay, all right. So can you believe it that we've actually made it to the end of 2021? I think the whole time warp thing has been going on. Hi from Estonia and Atlanta, Georgia, and Aquarius. I think, people have lost track of time. I know just before Christmas we were going, is it really Christmas already? We weren't really ready. And so I think that it's really important that we come up to speed. Okay. Hi, Susan, my friend Susan there in British Columbia. Okay, now I have to say that, the big news is I was looking at the January the 1st chart. So the birth chart of 2022, the sun trines Uranus. So that birth chart, January the 1st at midnight, is the birth chart for the whole year ahead. Sun trines Uranus. So that's an upswing in new inventive energy and teamwork. And of course, Venus is retrograde as we get the year started. So Venus retrograde in Capricorn with Pluto and Mercury actually right now, a triple conjunction, quite rare. We're not really moving ahead until Venus starts to move ahead in Capricorn, until she bypasses her retrograde point. And actually, even though she's going to do it on January the 28th, she won't really bypass that point until the beginning of March. So we're working with that. Okay. So I want to just run through these aspects. Everybody knows, of course, Jupiter in Pisces, and I'm on drugs. I'm not really on any kind of drugs. I'm on medicinal drugs. Venus in Capricorn, Capricorn rules the bones. And so I've been having some tooth issues, which is very painful. So I'm on painkillers and antibiotics. So, it makes you feel a bit woozy, right? But you have to be careful using any drugs, prescriptions, especially with Jupiter in Pisces while it's in Pisces, which is only really going to be there for just over half the year. So this is really 2022. I'm going to talk about the numerology as well. It's really kind of a yin yang year. Like, Jupiter in Pisces is very yin, very psychic, very intuitive, very withdrawing from the scenes, really listening to your intuition, very much about dream healing. Everybody's going to realize that we're all one. It's about faith. It's about trust. It's about listening to your intuition above all. So it could be a bit mind-blowing, very literally for a lot of people, to get that psychic, really empathic. It's going to be very emo for all the water signs, of course. And the south node of the moon has either just entered Scorpio already or will do so in January, depending on which type of node, mean or true node. So very emotional for all the water signs, of course. And the best year in 12 for Pisces, right? And but then Jupiter is going to enter Aries, which is a brand new beginning. So we're going to go from this very passive, intuitive, very kind of receptive energy, Pisces, and then wham, bam, thank you, man. Jupiter and Aries is like, let's go. And we're mad as hell. We're not going to take it anymore. So everybody's going to be up in arms. So really an interesting, like I said, really a yin yang year. Okay. So it'll be interesting. Now, Jupiter, the great benefic in the tarot is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune. So everybody wants to get the Lady Luck, the Wheel of Fortune. well, he's not a lady in this one, but anyway, Wheel of Fortune. So Jupiter can bring many benefits, especially to Pisces, or you want to look at where you have Pisces in your natal chart, because that's where Jupiter will bring you benefits and open you up spiritually, but can also be too much of a good thing. So even the greatest, most beneficial planet also has a downside, which it can, enhance addictions and denial and illusions and delusions and projections. And I'm looking for my soulmate, and kind of having those stars in your eyes. So everybody you look at, that's my soulmate. Oh, they're the perfect person. Also debt and viruses. So unfortunately, Jupiter in Pisces is going to expand kind of viruses. People are going to be super sensitive. So you really need to strengthen your boundaries. That's Pisces' big lesson. Strengthen your boundaries, have faith and trust, and kind of it'll be a big revelation time, I think. Interesting. But people could also go a little bit cuckoo bars, because Pisces is also mental illness. Oh, I just saw my screen freeze there. Mental illness, jails. So issues about freeing people. The justice system is also about that too. So a lot of shadow work. Great time to do shadow work with Jupiter in its strength, in its home sign. It rules Sagittarius, but also rules Pisces. Okay. All right. So also the numerology, 2022. Now, since the year 2000, the number 2, which in the tarot is called the High Priestess, governs for 2,000 years. So from the beginning of 1000, we were ruled by the Magician, which is a kind of both masculine and feminine side, but more masculine. Okay, as we got into the 2000s, the High Priestess here, she is the moon incarnate, rules 1,000 years. So 2020 we had 2 High Priestesses, and in 2022 we have 3. Okay, 2022 is also reduces to the number 6. So in the tarot, the number 6 is the Lovers. So again, this is very positive, bodes well. This is the number that everybody wants to work with, the Lovers. It's about Gemini energy, all those Geminis who showed up in the beginning. Gemini energy, it's about duality. We need those polarities. They are complementary opposites, but they're not to be fighting or in hate with each other. They're supposed to learn to love each other, because they're the other side of the same coin. So learning to love ourselves. The number 6 is the symbol of the 6-pointed star in the tarot, which people associate with Judaism, but it's actually a very ancient symbol from Egypt and India, way back, representing the balance of heaven and earth, the as above, so below. So we got to all love ourselves and love each other, 222. All right. So the planet Jupiter in the sign of Pisces here. Pisces in the tarot is the number 18, which is called the moon. Now, this is the dark side of the moon. So we have very much a lunar influence. Again, the High Priestess, like the moon incarnate, ruling the dreams, ruling the sense of having to see both sides of an issue, having to be living in that, what they call the liminal space, which Jupiter and Pisces will certainly bring up. This is the dark side of the moon. Maybe we'll have to play Pink Floyd until May the 10th. It's about trust. It's about no matter how dark things look, and trust me, they can get even darker. You have to have faith that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, and that's Jupiter and Pisces. Okay. Also, my sense is it's losing my religion, Jupiter and Pisces. So you're going to play that song too. All right. So then this card here, the Hangman. If you're not familiar with the tarot, you're going to want to turn this one upside down. But this is the Hangman, the number 12. And this card, even though the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, do not traditionally work with these cards, this is most closely associated with Neptune. So, and Jupiter and Neptune are going to have a historic meeting in April. So it's about letting go, and it's about surrender, and it's about compassion. This is Jupiter and Pisces. It's about, letting go of your ego, what we can't control and trust. And then as Jupiter enters Aries in May, we're under the influence of the number 4 card here, which is the Emperor in the tarot. That's Aries energy. So suddenly it's like, I'm the boss. It's a new beginning. We're all fired up. Nobody has any patience anymore. So again, very different, going from this very receptive, watery, absorbing energy. Water, breaks down all hardness to like, I'm going to war. Okay. All right. So let's get to the aspects here. Okay. So I want to wish everybody a happy new year, of course. Venus is retrograde, conjunct Pluto and Mercury. So a lot of people are going through a lot of breakups, breakdowns. Yes, traditionally old lovers come back. You want to finish off any conversations that you felt never got finished. That's really important. So whether you text them or email them or whatever, or just for yourself, write a letter so you can get those words out. The things that are left unsaid, You want to finish them now. It's very important, okay? There were also 2 new moons in January, and they're both at 12 degrees. So 12 degrees Capricorn at the beginning of the month, January the 2nd, and 12 degrees Aquarius at the end of the month, right smack dab on Saturn squaring Uranus there. There are 2 planets at 0 degrees as we begin January, Jupiter and Pisces, representing brand new beginnings and brand new endings, because Pisces is the last sign. And also Mercury at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, Mercury also will go retrograde in January. We're starting off getting everything in here. So Mercury is already in what they call its pre-retrograde shadow. Okay. Also, the moon is out of bounds on the January the 1st chart, and that means that, again, emotionally, things are kind of wild and free, not bounded, not held in, not restrained, so you can express your emotions fully. Okay. So January the 1st, 2nd, depending on what time zone you're in, Mercury enters Aquarius. So the emphasis is on detachment, which is kind of good with Jupiter and Pisces. We get a chance to be a little bit detached from feeling all those feels or being overwhelmed with oceanic consciousness, right? That's a good thing. On the 2nd, there's a new moon at 12 degrees of Capricorn, as I mentioned. On January the 5th, Venus sextiles Neptune and Pisces. That's a very lovely, spiritual, romantic, psychic energy. Definitely the key thing for the next few months until Jupiter enters Aries is to work with your dreams. Traditionally, people practice dream healing. In the Greek times, Chiron, the wounded healer, was famed for teaching Asclepius, who was a human. There's records of him. And he set up these dream temples for healing all over Greece. They still remain, the runes still remain. So definitely going back to that ancient dream healing. They of course healed also with psychotropic plants or mushrooms. And that will all become super popular. And all the psychic things, everything that's mystical and mediums will all, just go through the roof while Jupiter's in Pisces, because it did this last time. Jupiter will also conjunct Neptune in April, and that hasn't happened in 166 years. All right, so Venus and Neptune, Pisces, very lovely, spiritual, romantic, psychic. Pay attention to your dreams. If you've never kept a dream journal, this is the time to do so. So you can record them in your phone, or writing them down is better because it brings them in from the ephemeral, that's Neptune, to the real, okay? But you could meet someone that could be very good for Tauruses or Libra, Venus ruled, and also Pisces. On the 8th, the Sun conjuncts Venus retrograde. So Venus will make a star point, one of her star points, on January the 8th at 19 degrees of Capricorn, the same degree she did on January the 8th, 2018. So make a wish on that star point. Think back about what was going on January the 8th, 2018. That's 4 years ago. On the 10th, the Sun sextiles Neptune. Again, this is about practical dreaming. Capricorn Sun with Neptune, practical dreams. What's your long-term plans? What do you want to bring in? Okay. On the 11th, Mars and Sagittarius squares Neptune. Okay. So Mars and Sag wants the truth. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. So what's true and what's not true? Pisces is like fake news. And, it's like kind of justice ghosting is what came to my mind. So Mars and Sag pursuing the truth, kind of defending the truth, calling out false things. Also asking yourself what's true for you, okay? On the 14th, Mercury turns retrograde at 10 degrees Aquarius until February the 3rd, where it will be at 24 degrees Capricorn conjunct Pluto, okay? Again, all those late degrees of Capricorn really being highlighted right now. And remember also, we're only a month and a bit away from the United States having its first Pluto return on February the 22nd, 2022. Again, those alignment of master numbers. So if people don't know about master numbers, all doubled numbers, and in the tarot, there are 22 major arcana in the tarot. 22 is the master number of enlightenment. So really, this is a year to really be in that sense of being enlightened. We already remember everything. The number 11, if people see 11 on the clocks, is partly about remembering that you're already enlightened. Okay, so back to this. January the 16th, Sun conjuncts Pluto at 26 degrees. So this is a power day of great wealth. Pluto is the planet of wealth, underground wealth, soul wealth, really riches. And in the earth plane, it is, the plutocracy. So of course, the big corporations have made a gazillion dollars in the last, but it supports corporate businesses, long-term career plans, elders, of course, Saturn rules Capricorn, and world domination. So you either want to decide which side you're on there. Okay. On January the 17th, there's a full moon at 27 degrees Cancer, of course, opposite Pluto, which happens to coincide with Martin Luther King Day. So there may be some major political issues in the States around that. January the 18th, Uranus stations direct. We forgot that Uranus has been retrograde since way back in August the 19th, turning direct at 10 degrees 49 Taurus. So if you have planets or degrees or whatever, your moon, your ascendant, or any planets of those degrees, you're going to feel that sudden change, that everything that has been kind of inventing and freeing yourself up behind the scenes gets to move forwards. Okay. On the 19th, Sun enters Aquarius. So it's Aquarius season. It's at 9:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the 23rd, the Sun and Mercury conjunct with Mercury retrograde. That's called a Mercury cazimi at 23 degrees. Sorry, at 2 to 3 degrees Aquarius. So again, if you have planets there, if it's your birthday, that's a very good day for communicating, for opening your mind, for being inventive and very creative. It's highlighting the invention of new ideas and freedom of the mind, freeing the mind. On the 24th, Mars enters Capricorn. Okay, Mars is in good standing in Capricorn, so that's a good thing. So the energy, the passion, the drive is to be grounded, which again, at this point, I feel is very good because Jupiter in Pisces is going to make everybody feel like they're kind of like, woohoo, really hyped up or stoned all the time or in a dream, don't know what's real and what's in a dream. So you need more grounding energy, On the 28th, the Sun sextiles Chiron and Aries. So again, we can work with where we're vulnerable. We can talk about that. It's a good thing to access our wounds and our vulnerability. On the 28th and the 29th, Mercury conjuncts Pluto. Again, a corporate business mind meeting. Okay, so again, lots of conjunctions with Pluto here. Pluto, I feel, is going to be more powerful as it finishes up its long stint in Capricorn since 2008. Really uprooting and digging up all that underworld stuff. Okay, it's really going to come out big because remember, Jupiter in Pisces wants the truth, and it's going to clear the way so that what's been hidden or pushed under the rug, you're going to really see it. On the 29th, Venus turns stationary direct 11 degrees Capricorn. She turned retro December 19th at 26 degrees. So it will take until March the 3rd until she bypasses that. So again, as Venus stations direct, she's very powerful on the 29th because she's not moving. Okay, so again, if you have planets there, 11 degrees Capricorn, very powerful for you. Again, close to the degree of that new moon. On January 30th, the Aquarius Sun squares Uranus and Taurus. So this is a push me, pull you, the standoff between we want to keep things the same old way and the innovators, the freedom fighters. January 31st and February the 1st, it's another new moon, depending on what time zone you're in. There is 2 new moons. For some, it's not. Again, 12 degrees of Aquarius conjunct Saturn. So again, very sobering Aquarius new moon. It is the Chinese New Year of the water tiger. The new moon happens at 12:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're a tiger, this is your best year in 12. Again, the Chinese astrology signs tend to follow Jupiter through the signs. Okay. All right. So if everybody's still with me here, I'm going to take my cards and I am going to, I use my special crystal here. This is a Herkimer diamond crystal. Looks like a skull, actually. Maybe you can see it better this way. It's like a crystal skull. I use my cards. I'm going to smudge everybody virtually as well, which is what I usually do. And so what I want you to do is think about, you can sort of tune in here, just close your eyes for a second and think about what do you want to happen in 2022, okay? Especially that new moon, the best new moon intentions in Capricorn right at the beginning of the year. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm using 22 major arcana here. This is the Thoth Tarot. It's a kind of fairly popular, not the most traditional deck, but it's very much like the Rider-Waite deck. I've left an extra card in here just for fun. Okay, I will draw a card for you. Yes, I'm going to draw a card for every sign. So let's talk about Aries. So of course, Aries, when Mars moves into your sign, it's going to be a big deal for you, May the 11th till the end of October. Okay, so Aries. You get this card here of the number 5 called the Hierophant. So the number 5, as you can see it here, this is like the Pope traditionally in the traditional tarot. The Pope, the Hierophant, the High Priest, and it is like Taurus energy. So for Aries, the number 5 tends to be a bit of a challenging energy, a bit of a crossing energy. It's really all about instead of doing things the hard way, and Aries tends to get itself into trouble by just being so spontaneous and just jumping into things, you have to ask yourself, what does my gut tell me? Okay. What's my gut instincts? Again, Jupiter and Pisces, yes, it's all in the watery realm, it's in the psychic realm, but people feel psychic energy in different ways depending on the elements. So a Taurus person would not necessarily feel their psychic energy intangibly, but as a tangible gut instinct. So for Aries, for you, you listen to your gut instincts before you do anything. This is also about speaking your truth because it relates to Taurus, the throat chakra, standing your ground, boundaries. So it's very much about defending the truth, always listening to your higher self. So again, for Aries, Jupiter's in your 12th house. So start paying attention to your intuition, start listening to your dreams. You're not used to acting that way, but really this will be a good exploration for you. If there's nightmares that come up, you got to work through those too. They always come in service. Okay, so Aries, be your own high priest. There's no other outside authority. Okay, that's really the bottom line. Okay, so if you have your moon or ascendant in Aries, that goes for you too. Okay, all right, so Taurus. So Taurus people, all right. So for you Tauruses, again, Uranus and Saturn, you've been under that heavy square all year. It's starting to move out. Okay. All right, you get the wishing card. So I did leave one minor arcana in here. This is the Nine of Cups, the wishing card. So Taurus, I'm going to be your fairy godmother here and give you 9 wishes this year. Now, again, this is Jupiter in Pisces. This is the card. That's why I left it in. So you can see that Jupiter is this incredible benefic, the great teacher, brings faith, and a spiritual level. Jupiter is the higher master teachers. So you can tune into them, Taurus. It would be good for you to, again, meditate, work with your dreams. And of course, Jupiter in Pisces is about being compassionate and doing charity work. So making sure you're giving some of your energy, your money, your time, whatever, to help others who are less fortunate. A lot of people are still, of course, very much struggling with COVID and deaths and fear and paranoia and all kinds of things in the world. So this is where you get in touch with spirit directly and you become a source, like a fountain for other people. So Taurus, this is really great for you. 9 of Cups, I want you to sit and think about, what you would want to manifest. And really it's for other people. I mean, you can manifest for yourself, but ultimately it's about charity work. It's about, seeing the world being a better place or seeing the oceans being clean. That's Jupiter and Pisces. Whatever it is, or working for environmental causes, that kind of thing, or food, Uranus and Taurus, food scarcity, the prices are probably going to go up. There's probably going to be food shortages and inflation coming as well. Okay, so Taurus, you get 9 wishes, so think about that. Okay, speaking of water, Jupiter and Pisces, there will be lots of tsunamis, lots of flooding. Okay, if you live somewhere where it's low, you need to get up to higher ground or make sure that you have extra protection from water. Okay, very much so. Okay, all right. And also when Jupiter gets to Aries, it's fire. So there can be, again, those dangers of fires like they had in Australia and California and British Columbia and all kinds of places in the world, and volcanic explosions too. All right. So Gemini, you get this special card. Okay. So Geminis, now you're moving out of, the North Node being in your sign, so you're kind of finished that last 18-month cycle. This card is a very special card. I like to call it the calling card from your holy guardian angel, which is the whole point of working with the tarot. Okay, working with the holy guardian angel. So Geminis, get ready to really connect. Now, Gemini, of course, Jupiter and Neptune, when they meet in April, and since Jupiter is in Pisces, it will be squaring you, as it will be squaring Sagittarius as well. So you need to get in touch with your higher self. You need to find out what that is. You need to learn. That's Jupiter. Jupiter is the teacher. Educate yourself about spirituality. Educate yourself that you are a spirit, an old soul who came here to incarnate, to experience, to, get all those stories and interview everybody and be the 3-year-old kid that Gemini is asking, I want to know what your story is all about. But get in touch with your higher self. This is a card that says it's there. Your own higher self is just waiting for you to connect. Okay, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, traditionally this was called, everybody has a holy guardian angel. Now this can be your own ancestors. It can be a grandmother, grandparents going back. It can be from another past life. You have spirit guides that guide you. Test them out though. Make sure that you know that they're real and not not fake spirits, let's call it that. Okay, so be careful. Also, I recommend do not use Ouija boards because they really attract lower level energies. But Gemini, you get to be, when you're connected to your higher power, you can really help other people. Okay, all right. All right, so Cancer. Now, Cancers, you better get ready to feel all those feels because Jupiter in Pisces is really going to amp it up. Now, if you want to expand your family, Jupiter is the planet of fertility. So again, from now until May the 10th, and then at the end of 2022, it's a good time to expand your family if that feels right, or expand your home, redecorate your home, you know, whatever, all kinds of different things, whatever you want. Okay. So, Cancer, you get the Hangman here. Now, this is the card that I mentioned earlier, would be related to Neptune. It isn't traditionally, but you can see it's about surrender. It's about being the martyr. You know, we're moving out of the age of Pisces. That's Christ's sign, the 2160 year sojourn of the sun through the sign of Pisces. Now, there's different stories about when it actually began or whatever, but, you know, here's the Hangman. So, Cancer, let go. Let go of what you cannot change, surrender, have faith, just trust that the universe has your back. So the way that you've been looking at things is turned totally upside down. Okay, this is the traditional Nordic story of Odin. This is Thor's father. If you're into Thor, he voluntarily tied himself to the world tree and he hung himself upside down so that he could channel, instead of the upward kind of daylight consciousness, he channeled downwards to the earth. It's very feminine, what they call chthonic energy. You can see there's a snake in the ground there. Listening to really the gut instincts, really getting grounded, Cancer. You're going to need that. You know, be in nature, walk in nature. Okay, be very important to you. So don't get hung up on the things you cannot change. You know, let go of things that, you know, you don't need anymore. Just let it all go. Okay, all right. All right, so Leo. Okay, so Leos now. So let's see what Leos have got here. Okay, all right, you get the Tower. Okay, so for people that are familiar with the tarot, the number 16 here, the Tower is also the planet Mars. You can see the symbol of Mars on there, right? So the symbol of Mars. So for you, Leo, of course, when Mars enters Aries, which is around May the 11th, until October the 30th, that will boost your energy, okay, for sure. But this is a shocking revelation, Leo. Okay, so this is not just, this is all the Leos in the world are going to get a shocking revelation. It's a wake-up call. It's destruction of your old self. I mean, Leos have been squared by Uranus in Taurus and Saturn in Aquarius. So, you know, I would say that this year is the time when you really burn down the house. You know what I mean? Like you really let go of your old self-identity. You're reinventing yourself. You're, you know, creating a new you. Like it might be a shocking revelation that the world is not what you thought. You know, Leo rules the heart. So make sure that you're doing what's in your heart. Okay, it's very important for Leos. Otherwise, they can have heart attacks. It's very literal, not to scare you. But this is really kind of the shocking revelation. What is it that I haven't been seeing? Okay, what that's like going to free me, though. Ultimately, it's a freedom card. Okay, but you know, if you're feeling the foundation shaking and you're not willing to take that next step, you're going to have to do that. Okay, and it may be when Mars enters Aries. So I would bet on that one. Okay, so Leo, the Tower. Okay. All right. All right. So Virgo, triple Leo there. Okay. All right. So Virgo. Now with Jupiter marching or floating, swimming through Pisces is opposite your sign. So for, you know, yes, I've heard, yes, relationships. And there you go. Okay. So even though it may sound trite, of course, that Jupiter, expansive Jupiter in your 7th house, traditionally of marriage or relationships, you get the Lover's card. So I'm going to have to say yes. I would believe that's true, but it's also about you balancing yourself. The 7th house is not just marriage or definitely committed relationships, which it is traditionally, but all relationships. So meeting new people and talking and communicating and kind of being more open and curious. This is Gemini energy, lightening up a bit. You know what I mean? Just like, and loving yourself, Virgo, you know. So Jupiter and Pisces, it's really a lot about forgiving ourselves. You know, Virgos are so self-critical. You know, we're really hard on ourselves. They're, you know, nothing's ever good enough. You're not good enough. So this is a time to forgive yourself and really learn to love yourself, love both sides of ourselves, not just the ego that we show to the world or the persona that we want to give out, but really our shadow side as well. Can't have one without the other. Can't have dark without light. Okay. So Virgo, learning to love yourself, loving what you do, because the 7th house is all others. So are you in love with what you're doing in the world? You know, Virgos tend to be workaholics. So really making sure that everything you do comes from a place of love. Okay, that's very, very important. We need that uplifting energy. Again, this is the number 6, 2022, Virgo. It's your year for love. Okay. All right. So Libra. Get a card about reconciliation, please. Okay. Libra. All right. So you get the Empress here. All right. So Libra, you are ruled, and just like Taurus, with Venus. Now, Venus is retrograde, of course, conjunct Pluto. So that might have been quite of a rough, shocking revelation there, because, you know, Pluto tends to destroy things that are not really focused on your soul. So most relationships that I know do not survive a Pluto transit. So for a lot of you, there's been breakups, but, you know, it's a good thing. You don't want to be in toxic relationships. So this is Venus, the Empress, number 3. This is Venus. So Libra, you get Venus. So really review your values, you know, review your relationships with women, with money, with beauty, with the arts, with creativity, with fertility. You know, Pluto ruling Scorpio, there can be a lot of women having trouble with their reproductive issues in the last while. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to your shadows, that parts of yourself that you don't want to own, because you're always projecting out, you know, you're all about other people. Okay. And Pluto, you know, in the traditional Greek myths, Pluto, traditionally, there's different stories about Pluto and Persephone, that's Venus, or Inanna, you know, going into the underworld. When Venus goes into the underworld, when she disappears for 40 to 42 days every year and a half, moving from a morning star to an evening star, that's the nighttime journey or the underworld journey. And that's what Venus Pluto is all about right now. We're all supposed to be working with our shadows, the parts of ourselves that we don't love. And Venus's unconditional love is the great mother here. Okay. So Libra, learn to love yourself first so you're able to love everybody else. Okay. Also issues with your mom. Make sure that your mom's okay. All right. Scorpio. All right. So now, as the south node of the moon has already moved into Scorpio, depending on which type of node you use, or it will just about move there. So for the next year and a half, Scorpio is the south node. So that's what we're releasing. What we can also draw energy from the south node. Okay, so Scorpios, you get the card of the sun here. The Scorpios are kind of dark and moody and like to wear black, but, you know, this card is saying you need to come out and shine, Scorpio. So working with your shadow aspects, the more you work with them, the more you free yourself, then you can shine. So even a Scorpio can shine. This is, again, there's 2 young children on this. It's very much about the inner child, the whole child coming out to play. So this says, you know, it can be good for Scorpios to be in relationship, to have joy, to have positive energy, to be at their source, to connect to their oneness. You know, the sun represents gold. It might be good for you to wear gold this year, or to invest in gold even. You know, Scorpio is all about investments. So playfulness, you know, what makes you happy, Scorpio? Now, it could be dark, obsessive, you know, things, but if whatever that is that brings you happiness, doing detective work, research work, you know, getting to the bottom of things, you know, if that brings you joy, then do that. You know, wherever you joy, you know, you bring joy to the world. Okay. So it's very an interesting thing for Scorpio to have the sun card here. Can be a very positive year for you. I mean, Jupiter in Pisces is trining you, so there should be benefits. You know, Jupiter as the wheel of fortune tends to open doors. Okay. So the things that you've been wanting to attain, this is when you go after them. This is when you pursue them to make yourself happy. Okay. You deserve to be happy, Scorpio, just like every other sign. Okay. So Sagittarius. Now, Jupiter in Pisces is going to square you, but it's also your ruling planet. So brings out your other kind of side. All right. So Sagittarius, you get the Magician. So this is the number 1 card. So for Sagittarius, this is a new beginning for you. Okay. So if we use Sagittarius as the first solar sign, then Pisces is in your 4th house. So you include always that sign. So a new beginning in terms of new ideas, new communications. If you want to start a new project, communicating in a new way, teaching, you know, becoming the leader, becoming the teacher. This is Sagittarius, all the years of all the work you've done in the mystical realms now, it's going to be very popular. It's going to be mainstream. So this is the time for you to initiate, what the magician, we're all sacred artists, the shaman, Don Miguel Ruiz, that's what he says. The Toltecs refer to people as sacred artists. Okay, everybody, no matter what they do, whether you're a farmer or you fix cars or whatever it is you do, you're a mathematician, you're all sacred artists at what you do. So this is the magician. So your magical tool is in your head. Okay, your consciousness, your stream of consciousness, what you choose to focus on. Okay, so Sagittarius, choose well where you want to put your mind. Okay, so what you think, what's going on unconsciously will create your reality. Now, this is true for everybody, especially Sagittarius this year. Make a new beginning, wipe that slate clean, just see this is a new beginning, whatever numerological year you're going through personally. So the magician, writing, communicating, telling stories, that's what Sagittarius love to do. So or maybe just channel, just channel that book, channel that screenplay, channel whatever it is, that idea for something, you want to help the world, you want to bring truth to the world, you want to help animals, whatever it is, be the magician. Okay. All right. So Capricorn. Now, I know all of you at very last degrees of Capricorn, you're really going through it. Okay, Venus, Pluto, Mercury right now. Yeah, you will live through this. I know it may seem hard. Okay, well, you've got the card of the moon here. Okay, so the number 18 in the tarot, this is the card of Pisces. Now, Neptune, Pisces, Jupiter, it's in a sextile, which is a positive supportive aspect to Capricorn. So for all Capricorns, which are usually very pragmatic, very business oriented, very, hardworking, life tends to be hard because you're Saturn ruled. This is where you get to lighten up. Remember when Jupiter and Saturn came together? That was only a year ago, believe it or not, December 21st, 2020. So this is like kind of a Jupiter-Saturn energy for you. Okay, I can interpret it that way. Now, you may feel like you're walking through a very dark place, and I totally empathize with you, and that's Jupiter and Pisces. Empathy for yourself, empathy for everybody else that's going through a hard time. You must have faith. You must have faith in things that are intangible. That's what spirit is all about, faith. I know they might call it hopium these days. But have faith that there is light at the end of the tunnel, because if you don't envision it, if you don't see it, it's not going to happen. Okay, just like that previous card of the magician. So this is also about letting go of things that are not serving you, toxic things, old habits where you're stuck. It's Pisces. Pisces can be toxic as well as the purifying waters. So what needs to be cleaned up in your unconscious? The Capricorn. That's what I'd say you need to go through, and what untruths. Or what's the scariest part that you're willing not to face, that you have to go into? So Capricorns are really very emotional deep down. And so Jupiter and Pisces is really going to bring that up and really bring out your compassionate side. I know you're very emotional deep down. You are, the water goat, really you have that, traditional sign of Capricorn is the goat with the fish tail. So really go back and discover the ancient watery, mermaid or merwoman that you are. That's really part of your connection to the unconscious. So it's a very nice earth water energy. So Capricorns, yeah, for everybody, you do have a very soft, gentle, supportive side, because we need you, because you know how to build things in the world. Okay, all right. Also, if you have nightmares, Capricorns, the nightmares are in service to you. Okay, start working with your dreams. Okay. I'm going to mention something at the end of this about that. Okay, Capricorn. Okay, so Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius. All right, now I know it's also been rough for you guys, and with Saturn and Uranus there. Okay, so you get the number 20 card here, Aquarius. Okay, so this card here is one of 3 major arcana. One of them I showed you already, the Hangman. The Hangman, the Fool, the wisest card of all the tarot cards, and this one, number 20. Now 20, we're in that 20 number as well. So this card here has a relevance to being in 2022. So this is traditionally called Judgment or Judgment Day. Now, I know there's lots of born again Christians and things like that, who are wanting it to be Judgment Day. But this is not really about that. This is about how we judge ourselves, and it is traditionally a card of rebirth. So for Aquarius, you are being reborn now. And Jupiter in Pisces and your solar chart is in your second house of values, of resources, of what you feel you're worth, of new tools. So totally a reinvention of you. Also it's literally the divine child. So for Aquarius, do your inner child work. I know everybody's emotional. I know most signs are considered to be more emotional than others, but everybody's emotional. That's the reason we come here to be incarnated, is to experience the emotions. Pay attention to your inner child, or work with children, or be around children, or do something to innovate education, children's education, something that helps kids. But really it's about your own inner child, about a rebirth. So get ready to totally transform this year. So maybe it's an old part of you that you forgot about. What did you want to do with it when you were a child? Go back to that, visit that, find out what that's all about. Okay, so Aquarius. So play. The inner child loves to play, loves to dance, loves to drum, loves to make art, all those things that kids love. We all need that desperately in the world. Okay, so I know everybody's dancing on TikTok and whatnot. Yeah, do it. Okay. All right, so Pisces. Now we come to the best, to the last in a way. So Pisces, of course. Okay, now get ready to have your best year in 12 from now until May the 10th, and then again October the 30th. All right, you get the Fool card here. So speaking of 22, all right, so perfect synchronicity here. So the tarot, I know it says 0 on there. If you know the tarot begins with the Fool. This is the archetypal soul. This is the card of the soul. Again, this is the divine child that chooses to come back to earth, to incarnate, to just experience from the soul's perspective. This is just like my metaphor is, it's like a big amusement park. You go to the tunnel of love, and you go to the tunnel of horrors, and you go through the roller coaster and all that stuff just to experience. It's just to accumulate more experience. So the Fool lives fully in the present. So Pisces, you have to stay fully present. And I think that's a big lesson, because a lot of people are projecting the future and worried about the past. When you're fully in the present, you can be fully enlightened. So 0 is the beginning of the whole soul's journey. And what the 22 major arcana in the tarot is it describes that Fool's journey. Okay. So we go from 0 to 21, which is called the World card in the tarot. And then 0 is also 22. So it's not pictured on there, but we all know what it is. So there's no end to this circular journey. Okay. So Pisces, be the Fool. Be the essence of who you are. Be your soul. Totally embody that. Jupiter in Pisces is going to really support that. And you're going to help teach other people that we're all interconnected, that we're all one, that there's no separation. That's an illusion. That's a projection. That's a denial of our essence, of our soul selves. So, you may feel like, very innocent and open, but this is a really good thing to do. Jupiter can also give you a lot of strength here. Trust that the universe has your back. Again, this is one of what they call one of 3 of those maternal letters, right? So they're not connected to any traditional planets at all. They're very strong on their own. So be the Fool, always a new beginning, Pisces. Okay, so use Jupiter as your great teacher. Spend a lot of time meditating. This is a time for you to really go into retreat mode. Just be in the spiritual mode as much as you can. Just listen, just download, connect to your higher self. Connect to your soul purpose. Why did you come here? Now, everybody has Pisces somewhere in their chart. So whatever house it's in, you ask yourself, what is my soul purpose for being here? What did I show up to do? And being in a place of trust and innocence and connecting with your child wisdom. The child knows, because the child has no preconception. So again, feed your inner child, play more, trust, innocence. Again, you look at the world with innocence eyes, you can see what's going on because you're not jaded, right? So again, brand new beginnings, dealing with any kind of old issues you've had, Pisces, be a good time to work with your addictions, to free yourself. Any debts, again, start a new beginning. You may need help with that. Also be aware that Jupiter expands debts and things like that as well. So, but be the Fool. Know that you're already enlightened, Pisces, okay? And teach everybody else how to live fully in the present. So it's a good time to meditate, again, work with your dreams, reinvent yourself, and have no agenda. That's the Fool. The Fool really has no agenda. All right. Okay. So everybody, thank you so much. I'm just looking if there's some comments here. Is anybody want to ask some questions here? Because I can see you on the chats. Okay, so somebody says their ears have been ringing. Okay, now that is something that we've been having around here too. Some people say it's an ascension syndrome. That also could be the EMFs on the Earth shifting. I started noticing it yesterday, last couple of days. So there's been a big solar flare, and the sun seems to have come back from being in a kind of a sleep stage. It's now awake again, so there's more solar flares, and they affect the electromagnetic frequencies in yourself. So if you're real sensitive, and people are going to get more sensitive, pay attention. You want to go to Solar Ham or to NASA so you can find out when these solar flares are happening. So if you start to feel really exhausted or tired or dizzy, those are the solar flares, affecting our Earth. Also, with Jupiter and Pisces, the full moons are going to feel much stronger because there's that expansion, of that sensitive psychic energy. So remember, we are all connected. Okay, we're going to connect in our dreams. Okay. Yes, I'm going to say something about my dreams. Yes. I am also I want to start another dream community privately. So I'm going to set that up. I'm a little bit behind here because like I said, I haven't been feeling that well. But I will set that up. I worked with people with doing dream groups and workshops for many years, 30 years ago. It's one of my favorite things to do. So start a community. So if you want to get in touch with me at tarottarot.com, I'm also doing a live workshop January the 2nd, setting new intentions for the whole year. So if you want to do that, also join the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. We have a whole group of wonderful astrologers here, and you can get a reading from anyone here. And I want to thank Yulia, and wishing everybody a very happy new year. And hopefully we'll see you again in February. So sending you many, many blessings. Best for the new year, 2022. The lover's year. We want to bring on all the love and all the compassion and know our oneness. So I'm really feeling very optimistic for that. And then we're going to move on that. Then love is going to be what we're defending and what we're behind. Okay. So many blessings to you. All right. Thank you so much. Take care.